Hey everybody, my name is Nate, and welcome back to Project Nerd, where nearly everything is reviewed and discussed. Today I'm here with,
Rachel.
and we're going to be reviewing Beauty and the Beast 2017 and comparing it to the original. I don't want to shout it from the rooftops that I hate this film, but I don't like the fact that this exists. it's not.
That's fair. That's
It's
reasonable.
not.
I mean, we had all humans at one point and some animals, and then we did Jungle Book, which was all, these
Animals
big
and one human.
extravagant animals, and one human, and now they're trying to sort of animate the inanimate objects to look like people, and
it's not working, Chief. It's not great.
it's another one of those things where I feel like they have a set amount of time that they have a run time that they have to meet. They've got to fill this quota. The story is only 5 pages long originally. It's sort of, again, the same thing I feel like we're finding. We didn't have as much of a problem with this with Jungle Book, but I feel like I said the same thing when we did Cinderella, which is they're trying to find that balance between adding more dimension to these one-dimensional characters that they have from the originals, and they have to find that balance between what's too little and what's too much. And I feel like more often than not, it's too much, and they just are adding a lot that is unnecessary, especially in this.
Beauty and the Beast is an incredibly meh movie with meh performances and meh music.
Yeah, I can't believe it took us 30 minutes to say all that last time, but
I mean,
that is in general what it is.
Yeah, we meandered through everything because there's nothing in this movie that is so aggressively good that you're just we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
There
However,
are a few things.
there is something in this movie that is
that's aggressively bad,
and we are going to talk about that now.
All right. It is the final item on my list. The design. You can't read that.
I can't read that.
It says the designs.
The designs. Correct.
I'm going to be honest.
Who do you want to start with?
I'm just going to start with an overview. This movie is ugly. Straight up. This movie, I don't know who designed this, but holy, everything in this movie is just so needlessly gaudy. And I want to say colorful, but it's not colorful. Everything's gray.
That colorful.
Except for Gaston and Maurice's costumes and Belle's dress. Nothing is that colorful.
Ewan McGregor.
He's not even colorful.
He's
not even that colorful from what I remember. He's bronze. What would you point out as being particularly bad?
You know exactly what I'm going to say.
I do. I'm waiting for you to say it.
You're just waiting for me to say it again for the 50th time. It's Ewan McGregor.
Yes, it is.
As a small golden man. That is all they have done. And they've given him candles for hands and a candle on his head. Does he have a candle on his head? And a candle on his head. And that is it. He just walks around. That's it. That is the only good thing. That is the only good thing, that he walks, because I remember specifically in the original movie, he hops. He hops because he's got that typical round candelabra base.
Yeah.
So he hops. So I don't mind that he's not doing that anymore, but that's the only thing that I don't mind about it. Everything else is just unnecessary, because first of all, who in their right mind has a candle that's shaped like a whole ass man?
Well, it's not. That's the other thing, is that when they turn back into the enchanted objects at the end, half of them don't even hardly look like
exactly
when they were enchanted.
I don't know. It's not supposed to be that way. That's all I can say. I don't know how to describe why it's not supposed to be that way, but it's not. It was just supposed to be a regular candle that somebody would have in a castle and now all of a sudden it's alive and it's got a face. Granted, it might have looked stupider to just CGI this part of Ewan McGregor's face into a regular candle. I'm envisioning that now, and that is actually worse, I think, maybe.
I'm kind of envisioning the if you've ever seen the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol, where they took like the child's face and just like put it in a candle flame. We could have gotten that, and we didn't.
We could have gotten that.
So
we could have gotten the John Cena meme where he just sticks his head through the paper.
Oh my god. I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about. Specifically, you bringing up the scroll work on the T set. Whoever designed this movie was really into scroll work. Like if you look for it,
I don't know if that was like
everywhere
a trend back then. I don't know if that was something that the French were just like obsessed with back in the day.
I think it's whoever designed this movie, because it's on the dome for the vase, or for the rose, excuse me. It's on there. It's on the dress. It's everywhere. It's in the design of the castle, like in parts of the, like that big archway that goes like whoomp, like that kind of. It's in that. Like everything is weird and flowy and like scroll work, and I don't like it. Like this is how you make something that's initially very pretty just absolutely unbearable. I never want to see anything.
You've overdone it with the scroll work.
Yeah, I never want to see anything with scroll work on it ever again.
You want to talk about the Beast?
I guess we should talk about Beast. I think honestly, this is probably the best way you could have done it, because you didn't.
That's true, I guess.
He looks like some kind of strange half animal, half human creature.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's too lopsided one way or the other. So, I mean, I think that's fair. Whereas, like, in the original animated version, he is very much just like an animal. Like, he has large tusks and no discernible human
they sort of had
features.
to tiptoe, I think, because now I feel like people are much more aware of
things.
Some of the implications of this story that maybe people didn't think about before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say them, but everyone knows exactly what we're talking about. So I think making him look too much like an animal probably would have been the wrong move. That being said, I do remember when this movie came out and everyone was talking about how weirdly attractive he was, and I almost feel like that's worse. I really do almost feel like that is worse.
We went on quite a bit in the Cinderella review about how much we liked the gown. I didn't like this one.
No?
It was weird. It didn't hardly look anything like the original, which neither did Cinderella's, to be fair. But I don't like it. I don't like this version. I don't like the gold on it. I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
And I really feel like they kind of took, like, they saw how much people liked the Cinderella dress, and were like, okay, we need to redo this dress too in order to like get that same kind of hype. But in doing that, they just got so far off into left field. Like, it's just weird. I do not particularly enjoy it.
I mean, if I had to pick a, standard rainbow color that I probably like the least, it's yellow. So I think even when the original movie came out, I was never a huge fan of the dress. I mean, I don't think they focused on it as much as they did in Cinderella. I don't think it was really like a focal point.
Yeah.
I feel like, because even you talked about how they filmed the dance scene weird because they weren't really focusing on the dancing. They were doing like all these wide shots and stuff. So they weren't like super you weren't like super pulled into how the dress looked.
Right.
I think, really, and I feel like because of that, they just didn't spend as much time on it, because undeniably parts of that dress in Cinderella were CGI.
Right.
So, I mean, if they didn't take the time to do that with this one, then I can definitely see how maybe it doesn't really compare.
And then I feel like we also need to talk about the way that the characters look after they turn back into people. I think we already talked about this a little bit. So let's go from most to least offensive when they come back out of the transformation.
Sure.
So right at the bottom, I think we're gonna put Mrs. Potts and Chip. This is another common theme with this movie. There's like a weird makeup thing going on with Mrs. Potts, and it goes on with every character too. Like I don't know what they put on Emma Thompson, but she just looks odd. It's not aggressively bad. It's just like, why? What is the point?
I get that they were trying to, like, here's the other thing. I get that they were trying to like be very sort of period accurate with costumes and stuff, but they went like aggressively, like, I don't know what century this is, but everyone looks like so aggressively, like, it's 18th century. They went like so aggressively 18th century French with all of the looks for when they
when they turn back.
When they turn back, like everyone's wearing powder wigs and like these just extravagant like things,
like,
and
why?
I'm like, why would you choose to do that?
Yeah,
like I get it, like I took a history class, I know that's what rich people wore, I understand, doesn't make it any less stupid looking. Like,
it looks bad, because then like on the next tier up,
it looks bad
of like offensively bad, we have I guess I'm gonna put Cogsworth in here, because his, I would say, is fine, like, for being the like stuffy head of the household. That's a fine look. His mustache is weird. I don't really like that.
Oh, he does have a mustache, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like, I got the picture off to the side, I'm like looking
Well,
at
and
them.
it like they make it like one side of it like tick when he turns back.
Yeah.
Which was weird. I don't know why they did that, but I think the costume is fine for Cogsworth.
Okay, they were not wearing powder wigs in the original.
No.
Let's get that out there right now. Nobody was wearing powder wigs. That could have, omit that. Just wipe that off the table right now. There was no need for the powder wigs. Okay?
At all. Completely
At all.
pointless.
There was no need.
They try and put one on Beast in this movie, remember? What is the deal with the powder wigs?
What is the obsession with the powder wigs? We get it. It's 18th century France. Okay? Nobody cares. Nobody cared before. Nobody cares now. Nobody cares what time period it is. I had to Google it. I didn't know what time period it was. Needs to go away.
Yeah. So Cogsworth, I don't know. I might put Mrs. Potts above Cogsworth just because of the weird makeup thing. And then I guess Plumette. I don't know what's going on with her costume. They really went all in on the feather guster looks like a dove, like a goose, and then they really just like harped on that.
They were like, we want you to know exactly who each character is when they turn back into their human form.
As if you couldn't infer it by their voices.
As if you, first of all, as if you couldn't infer it by their voices because you've heard the voices for the past 2 hours. And also, that point is moot because none of us could even recognize Ewan McGregor.
you didn't you say like you only caught it this time?
I didn't recognize Ewan McGregor. I didn't recognize Ewan McGregor. I have never seen Ewan McGregor look so stupid. I really have not.
Oh, God.
And I feel bad. I really do. Because it is just, absolutely atrocious.
The only reason he's up this high and he's getting a thumbs down is because he's wearing a powdered wig. That's why. The same with Madame Garderobe.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked their chemistry in this movie. However, I don't understand why she turned into a dresser, like a wardrobe. She was a singer. Like, she would do vocals and he would play the harpsichord.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess she was just supposed to be like the fashion person of the castle.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe she's responsible for the powdered wigs. Maybe that's her fault.
Mm,
And then our last character on our enchanted object odyssey through Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Lumiere. Ewan McGregor.
I'm just gonna.
I would just like to address the camera for a moment.
I'm just gonna display this for you real quick.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, it's so bad.
Just to refresh your memory in case maybe, you know.
Oh, God.
That's the official promo poster, by the way.
I know. That's the worst part about it.
I could have that hanging up somewhere back here.
You know they did like a day-long photo shoot for all of these characters, and that's the picture they went with. That was the good one.
That's the one they went with. That's the good one.
Jesus. I think we need to move this movie from meh tier to production nightmare tier. Or I would lobby that we create a new tier called Poor Ewan McGregor tier.
Poor Ewan McGregor. Torture on Ewan McGregor.
Do we want to move on to closing remarks now? Because I think we've harped on this for long enough.
Sure. And after we end, as much as we make fun about how, you know, like the designs looked at everything, I mean, and the few things that we did praise about it, I mean, there is really nothing about it that, you know, puts it so far beyond the original, I think. I mean, it didn't really do anything new. It just it took from the original movie and it took from the musical, and it just was like, here you go, here's the story. I mean, yeah. And I mean, granted, Cinderella did that too, but there were things of value that I feel like were added, and it also looked better.
Yeah.
So it did not have.
That's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave us a comment letting us know which version you liked and how you felt about French Obi-Wan. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Until then, you know, like, comment, subscribe. I'm Nathan.
I'm Rachel.
We'll see you in the next one.